Good morning, great dear friends and lovers of freedom all over the world. My name is Kumawe Tarinimi. Kumawe Tarinimi is from Uduni Town in Sagbama, LGA, Biafra State, Biafra land. And you are welcome to Radio Biafra, Voice of the Coast, under the auspices of Radio Biafra London. First and foremost, we must pray and commit everything that we are going to be doing today to the hands of Elohim and to his care. For without him, we are nothing. thinking and a way you're gonna mock him or down. The one who made the heavens and the earth, the Spirit, the Father of all spirits. Nana way, Tamara, children that you have called and separated for this time and for this age and for this generation, to restore the holy land of Biafra. We have not come for the purpose of intimidating somebody, one person or the other, but we have come for the sole purpose of saving our land from those that want to render us useless and wipe us out of the surface of the earth. Our Father in heaven, we have no other to run to. We have nowhere else to go to. We have no one to save us except the one that you have called, except the one that you have separated, Mazen Namdekano. We have no weapons, we have no guns, we have nothing until you gave us the assent to protect our land, and we shall continue to give you praise and give you glory on this very land that you have separated us for, on this very land of Biafra, this holy land. We shall continue to bless your name. We shall continue to praise you on this very land of Biafra, for that is the purpose for which we are made, and that is the purpose that you have kept us till this last day. We pray for our leader Mazen Namdekanu where he is. We ask that you protect him and guide him, shield him from all the forces of evil, and keep his heart strong, focused, and resilient. We pray for all of our people that are giving their all, their strength, walks of life, from every status, all of our people from every nation of planet Earth that are doing all that they can, not minding the activities of saboteurs, not minding the activities of our enemies within us, not minding the works that those that we try to save are doing against us. All of our people that are giving their all and they are focused and resilient to ensure that the land of Biafra is free forever. Lord, we pray that you continue to strengthen these ones, that they do not lose focus, that they do not get distracted. Oh Lord, we ask that you continue to give our people the wisdom to obey the right orders and the wisdom to be able to carry on until Biafra is restored. And I pray also for our men in the bush, Eastern Security Network. Lord, these are special angels that you have separated for this generation, that our people must be saved, that our lives must be intact. Lord, we ask that everything that they need, you ensure they get it, irrespective of the desire of the enemy to ensure that they are handicapped to do their work. For your scripture said that if man refused to praise you, that you will raise stones. So also I pray that the men in the forest, they shall continue to be strengthened, to be able to wipe out every form of terrorism on our land. They shall continue to have victory upon victory upon victory upon victory, because that is what they are called to do, that the land of Biafra shall be preserved for the purpose for which you have called us for. For Biafra is the land that you have separated for this end time to show forth your glory. And thank you, Abba Father. Lord, we pray. I pray also for the feeble-minded men in the coast of Biafra. Those ones that love freedom but hate themselves. Those ones that want to see themselves free but hate the process by which their freedom shall be gotten. Lord, we pray that their eyes shall be open and the scales shall fall off their eyes. That the spell of the enemy upon these ones shall fall off, and they shall begin to see clearly. And they shall know that sacrifice is what comes before freedom. Without sacrifice, there can be no freedom. Without sacrifice, there can be no good. There can be no peace. Lord, we pray and we ask that all these men that have come out in the coast, that have brought up their ugly heads, to continue to fight against the restoration of Biafra, and to continue to fight that the coastlines of Biafra shall not be free, but shall continue to be in bondage. Abba Father, we ask that the land in which they stay, to make such confessions, to make such proclamations, to make such move, and to take such actions. We ask that the land swallow them. Let this same land swallow them. Let the waters in which they drink drown them. Let them not see the light of day. All these ones that have given that are giving their resources and using their influences to ensure that people are deceived and continually deceived. Let them be drowned in water. Let them be drowned in the same water. Let the sea drown them. Let the flood drown them. Let the rivers drown them. That water that they drink, let it drown them. Let it choke them. From right now as I speak, every man, boy, woman, or girl that stands against the restoration of Biafra in the coast, every has no other option but stands against the restoration of Biafra. Let the land swallow them. All those that speak evil and all they are interested is to propagate hatred amongst our people. Let the land swallow them. And let the light of Biafra be shown in the coastlines to the hinterland, to the glory of the Lord Most High in heaven. All this we pray in the name of Tamara, Aziba, Izibe, Ogene, Barry, Chukukike Abiama. You see, Pa. Welcome once again. Good evening to know where you are listening to us from. Today we are going to in the restoration of Biafra. You know, the United Nations or the organization called United Nations was established not up to 100 years ago. About that, before you had the United Nations, you had the League of Nations. The League of Nations developed into the United Nations. You know, the League of Nations is actually the organization that encouraged Europeans. In fact, I will say primarily it was an European um, organization, the League of Nations. It encouraged Europeans to take the lands of people belonging to other continents. And when they did that, the League of Nations approved it. When they sat down in the Berlin Conference of 1884, they decided that they should come to Africa and they should come to other places in the world. And the League of Nations approved that, occupy their lands, take whatever you can take, then come to the League of Nations and register on the map the places that you have occupied, that it belongs to you. And the League of Nations approved it. And gave them the power to take other people's lands for themselves and claimed it for themselves. So the League of Nations, which gave birth to the United Nations, is the organization to claim lands belonging to Biafra, belonging to Odua, belonging to the people of the Middle Belt, and belonging to the Fulani controlled Hausa lands, and also belonging to the tribes of the Northeast, which is the Kanuri, Banem Kanu Empire, Kanem Borno Empire, forgive me. These nations, these people were free people until until the League of Nations gave power to European nations to take over lands that didn't belong to them. And when Britain came here, little by little, they gathered all these people, fought wars, killed people, and the League of Nations approved it. And they came to the League of Nations and they announced that so and so territory, which this territory, so and so territory would belong to the Odua people, is now British territory. The Kanem Borno Empire which is not east of the zoo called Nigeria, into Chad, into parts of Chad Republic, into parts of World Cameroon. The Kanem Borno Empire was balconized into European European designed new territories in Africa. So the places where Fulani have inspired Boko Haram terrorism is actually Kanem Borno Empire, the territories of the Kanem Borno Empire. That was a nation or a kingdom that the Fulani couldn't conquer. You know, some people think that Fulani give a hoot about religion, about Islam, and all of that. Islam is just a tool to the Fulani. They are conquerors. All they are interested in is to conquer and rule over you. Then the way they have designed their own Islam to favor them, they will not impose it on you, tell you about God, that you must accept God in the name of God. They begin to destroy your lands. They begin to take over what belongs to you. And with the pretense that they are the ones that practice true Islam, then they will dominate you. They tried and tried to ensure that they dominated Kanem Borno as well, but they couldn't. And because the Kanem Borno people were predominantly Muslims, their propaganda of using Islam didn't fly over there, because you're a Muslim, I'm a Muslim. We are practicing Islam very well. So what are you trying to tell us? And the Kanem Borno Empire was strong, and they were fighting hard, fighting strongly against the Fulani invasion. So the Fulani couldn't penetrate them. Then, but today, with the help of British Nigeria, Fulani has destroyed what is even left of the Kanem Borno Empire with high-level terrorism. What you have as Boko Haram is Fulani-inspired terrorism to destroy what is left of the Kanem Borno pride. That is what most people may not understand. And this, and every territory that they can until they fully conquer everywhere and use Islam as an excuse to gather the people together under the Fulani Caliphate. They used the same propaganda and deceived the Hausa peasants, the Hausa people, to fight against their own kings, and their kings were destroyed. Today, the reverse is the case, or not exactly. The strategy they are using in Biafra land, they use gullible, foolish people those ones that were reasonably that alongside with him, like Franco Pigo and his second in command, who are all from the coasts. They brought up people that either did not understand what they were doing, or were just jealous. They wanted power at all costs and everything. They took advantage of the greed of certain people and used them to fight against people that have the true will of the people and all of that. Fought against them, destroy that structure of people that were in leadership position in when they were able to do that after Biafra in 1970 handed over her sovereignty back to the zoo called Nigeria, in hope that maybe we can solve this problem with peace, since our people are dying unnecessarily. We have already lost about 5 million people plus. Let us give peace a chance and see what will become of our fate. And when that happened, the Biafran people lost it all because they replaced the people in positions of leadership in Biafra with non-entities that supported Nigeria during the war while Biafra was fighting for survival. They used non-entities to put in positions as governors and begin to recycle them until today. That is the reason you have governors in Biafra land that would rather lick the feet of a Fulani stinking man than to stand by his people or by the will of his people. He would rather serve the Fulani at all costs. Sometimes or many times, even at the cost of the lives of his people, even from his own community. He doesn't care. That is how the recycled people, because they couldn't directly just put Fulani people, so they had to recycle people on our land that will be loyal to Fulani. That was what Fulani did. So after Fulani did that, what we now have a bunch of fools. So right now, what they are doing is a reverse of what they did in Hausa land by using the peasants against the kings. Now they are using the governors against fusion. Meanwhile, in the democratic polls to be heard, the people said, we do not want elections in our land. We want referendum. If you can spend money for election, why can't you spend money for referendum? If you can campaign for election, why can't you campaign for referendum? Why? Because the will of the people mean nothing to you. Because if the will of the people mean anything to you, you would rather put your efforts in referendum than to put your efforts in election. And the people have decided that we are going to stop elections on our land, even at the cost of our lives. We are going to stop election. Election is not going to hold. Beginning from Anambra, the first son of Biafra. You know, when I first wrote this, an article which I titled Anambra, the first son of Biafra, I didn't even know much about Anambra as much as I do today. About the Erie kingdom and all of that, as much as I do today. But that is the fact which our Isoko brother even reiterated yesterday. So I know many of our people are still expecting some of our um, coastal principal officers to to come up. Yes, today is more or less like a break. From tomorrow, we are going to continue. You know, we have handled Bielsa, we've handled Delta. Yesterday, we've handled River State the day before. So we are going to ensure that we cover all across the coast so that our people are going to understand when we are saying that we are working for the restoration of Biafra. Every part of Biafra land, we have people working for the restoration of Biafra. It doesn't matter the number of people that are deceived in a particular place. It doesn't matter the number of people, what we are doing, or that are just foolish primarily. It doesn't matter. But what you must know is that there are a good number of people from every tribe and nation in Biafra land working for the restoration of Biafra. But another thing you must know is that everybody cannot see the light at the same time. So, but we must continue and do our best to ensure that this message spread around as much as we can, as much as it is possible. So, as we were saying, the League of Nations gave this power, and Britain created Nigeria as a result of the power that the League of Nations gave. And after the creation of Nigeria, Britain ruled over Nigeria until she handed over to Fulani to continue to rule. When Biafrans refused, Britain, with the help of Fulani, with the help of Britain, or Britain using Fulani, killed Biafrans in our numbers. Millions of us, millions of our fathers, and their brothers were all killed because we decided to have a destiny for ourselves, to choose our path and choose our destiny. They called us names. They say that our leader Ojukwu was a rebel and all of that. And at the end of the day, they had things to justify it. After all, it was in a military government, it was a military system. Ojukwu was a military man. Gowon was a military man. It was military government. In the military uh, um, system, there are no laws. The usual democratic laws do not govern the military system. The military laws govern the military system. Is that what the head said? So when Gowon declared Ojukwu and all Biafrans fighting for to maintain the territory of Biafra as rebels, it was law that they were rebels. Even though it is a lie that they were rebels. Because they were not rebels, they actually tried to ensure that these things could be resolved before, and it wasn't resolved. They got into agreement. Agreement was not taken until they decided that if you cannot take that agreement, then to be together. We cannot be with you at all costs. And that was what caused the disagreement. And Biafrans said, if Biafrans cannot be protected in the zoo called Nigeria, then Biafrans have to protect Biafrans. That was the reason Ojukwu declared Biafra a sovereign state of our own. But afterwards, they came and killed as much as they could in the name that our fathers were all rebels. Same thing, same mindset that Buhari had when he declared and said that IPOB is a terrorist organization. Thinking that this was the military era where whatever the dictator says is law. You can dictate for Nigeria like that, but even in the Nigeria, it cannot fly in the courts. You can come and do whatever you want, say whatever you want, but in the courts you must have to prove it. This man is a terrorist. Prove it. First of all, who are terrorists? So these are things you must prove in the courts. And that is why they cannot, they are afraid to go to the courts to talk. Bring him to court, bring him to court. they brought him to court. They refused to do anything. Adjourn case. So when we now started, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started this movement, we started on law. That is the reason you cannot defeat us in the law. We are following the law, the corrupt law of the zoo. We are not. In fact, it is our primary inspiration. The laws in the United Nations is our primary inspiration. The law in the zoo as well, we are recognizing the constitution in the zoo called Nigeria. We are recognizing. So you must understand that this movement is a peaceful movement on the law, because the laws that are signed in the United Nations, when member nations of the United Nations sign to, all those laws are what we are working on. We are not just working by our feelings, how we feel, or because we are angry. Every demand we are making is according to the laws. If Biafra under, and we're making this agitation to our aid to see, but because Biafra is in Africa, UN, like I told you before, UN is the child of the League of Nations, which was actually created by Europeans. So UN is more or less more influenced by Europeans. It is European organization. European organization. Even though there are other powerful nations in Asia now that also have their say in the United Nations. But primarily, it is for Europe, created by Europeans. So they did not care about what happened to us for this long years that we've been struggling and fighting and being killed over and over again. They didn't care. But one thing you must know about the law: what you must know about the law is that the law do not look at faces of people. So when somebody is saying, "Oh, what will you do?" and all of that, you must understand that we are not dependent on individuals in the UN. We are dependent on the law. And why? How are you going to know that have gotten we have gotten to the final stage? Is because all the United Nations could do is to try to keep a blind eye to what is happening on our land, to our people. They have done that for many years. Our leader went to the United Nations, presented his case. He has gone to many places, even the EU. He has been there, United States, and all of that. They are all aware, but still they kept mute and they did nothing practically. So today, the UN have started speaking. And asking questions. Now that the UN have started speaking and asking questions, the UN cannot stop. Why? Because everything we're doing is in their law. Everything we are doing is in their law, and we have never said that what we want is war. We have only said that we are not Nigerians, we are Biafrans, and what we want is a referendum, and it is in their law. It is also in their law that we have the right to defend ourselves. So, if now that the UN have seen all what is happening and all of that, and they have asked questions, and probably Nigeria refused to answer to them, and all of that, and they still kept mute, then we now decide to take our land by ourselves. The UN will have no choice but to recognize us, because it is in their law. That is why I told you the law have no face. The law do not recognize face. The law is the law. And there is something about the law. The law defines who you are. The law is the law that can be used to tell whether you are good or you are bad, whether your intentions are good or your intentions are bad. It is the law. It is not how a man feels, but it is the law. Now, the UN have a reputation to protect. That is why the law is important. The UN, the United Nations, have a reputation to protect. If not for the reputation of the United Nations, United Nations wouldn't have asked the zoo called Nigeria the questions that they have asked them concerning the concerning what they have done to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu by breaking international laws. The United Nations wouldn't have asked, because I must tell you the fact. Practically, the people there do not really care whether Mazen Nnamdi Kanu dies or not, but they care about their law. They care that we are strong enough to speak out. We are strong enough to take them to court. We are large enough. We have enough number to tell the world that the UN do not respect her laws. It is not because they love us. No, far from it. If they loved us since from 2013 or 2014 or maybe 2015, the UN would have come in or begin to pressure the zoo called Nigeria for a referendum in Biafra. So you must understand that this has nothing to do with love or hate. This is the law. So do not forget, we have a case with Kenya. We have a case in Nigeria. And our lawyers are working every day to ensure that the world is put on notice. And we're not going to stop. So this issue whereby this issue of racism, oh, they are black people, it doesn't matter. If black people let them kill themselves, it doesn't matter. It is beginning to matter. Because we have proved beyond every reasonable doubt that we are not just black, but we are powerful. If the UN refuse to do anything, we are going to continue to enlighten the world as much as we can until the UN will lose her reputation, until people will begin to ask questions. So when the UN decided to ask these questions, it is not because of anything whatsoever, but it is because of the pressure that we have been putting. If anything happens, if the zoo begin to burn And the oil companies no longer function because if the UN refused to do anything and this thing turns out to become a full-blown war, it is going to affect everything, including the business of European nations in the zoo. It is going to affect their businesses, their investments, if not even the life of their personnel. Because bombs and bullets do not know color, do not know skin color. If a bomb is put on any shell location, whatever, and there's a white man there that is an American citizen, a British citizen, a German citizen, whatsoever, will die, as well as the black people there. And they know these things, they know the cost. And when they begin to lose their people like that, what are they going to blame? They are going to blame the United Nations that refused to do something when they could have done it. Is that the Biafran people will never stop. This thing we are doing will not stop except Biafra is restored. Biafra is a spirit. The more you kill us, we have to do what we do. So it will not stop. Some years back, people in uniform were not dying, they were the ones killing us. We lost. But people have risen up and they have started killing them. Men in uniform are dying. As well as innocents that they are killing. So, this is just the tip of the iceberg if they do nothing. Because as much as people are being provoked, people are getting to work to do much more as their heart takes them. Because one thing is this: when you provoke a people to the extent whereby they can no longer take it, they no longer have value for life. They just feel that, come on, this is but instead of me to commit suicide, I will sacrifice my life to ensure that the people that are causing me this pain, they feel as much pain as I'm feeling. If they succeed in taking my life in the process, so be it. Then they have helped me to go. They have helped me to live here. That is the position that our people have come to. Many have gotten there. And many more will. Some people see, when you talk to some Biafrans and They are not fully involved. They want to stay aside, give support. Some of them still feel, okay, maybe there is still hope. Maybe if I don't do it, someone else will do it. Maybe one thing, maybe one thing. Or maybe even if this thing doesn't come, we might still be able to survive one way or the other. They have not gotten there. Some of us have gotten there. we have nothing. We have nothing. We have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. And you cannot kill us. We have nothing to lose. All we want is Biafra. And we must get it. If there are human beings anywhere in the world that are free and have their nations, call the nations the names they choose, then we must be free. We must have our nations and call the nations the name we choose. Izo is a name that was not given to us by any man, but by Elohim in heaven. Just as Elohim created England, the land of the English people, so we are called Izo. Just as you have the British Isles, you have Britain. That is how we have Biafra. So why should you be able to answer your name and we cannot answer our names? There is no known territory in the world called Izo, but there are Izo people. What a mess. It is not possible. We must answer our original names. Original names. Not all these things created by somebody just came and say, okay, this from this place to this place to this place will be called Biafra. Then from that day, I am now somebody from Biafra. I am not from Biafra. If my father had died before 1996, he wouldn't have known anything that is Biafra. If you resurrect him and tell you and ask him, where are you from? The one you will remember is River State. If you had died before 1967, what you would have known in this is Eastern region. And of course, my grandfather never knew anything that is called Bayelsa. I think it died in the um, 80s or 70s, thereabout. So these things that are created, man created by man, Nigeria, all these nonsense structures that they are that they created and said that we must bear. You know, all these things were created by the dictators. Nigeria was imposed on us as a name. River State was imposed on us as a name. Did the people of River State vote and say that we want to become River State from today? Did they even know? Were they even aware? One day in October 1st, in 19, is that October 1st? No, it wasn't October 1st. It was May 27th. Because they want to divide the Biafran people, they decided to create states out of the former eastern region. Urgently, they usually do all these things on October 1st, but they couldn't wait. Urgently, they rushed. Oh, let us do it now. Let us do it now. Let us do it now. Now. And what name? What name? Call it River State. Then now, River State became the tribe of certain people. If you ask them, where are you from? Where? Oh my God. Some of our people can be very foolish. No pride. No iota of dignity. What dignity do you have? Are you not ashamed that a fellow human being is the one that created the name that you're proud of? I am a proud Izon man. And it is not human being that created Izon. It is not human being that created Izon. So why should I accept what man created? Izon nation was not created by humans. How even had different settlements. It wasn't planned. It came. All these things came naturally. How the dialects that we speak differ from each other, but are closely knitted. We didn't even plan them. These were things that were orchestrated by Elohim in heaven. And one man somewhere will just come and say that we must not answer that name. That now you are now Niger Delta. Even the Niger, the river whereby they are using to call us Delta off. That river was there before the man that named it Niger came. He came and named it Niger. We did not complain. He's now we are now proudly Niger Delta. We must be foolish. No iota of pride. You know, one thing about slaves have no pride. Slaves have no pride. Once you lose your pride, you are a slave. Slaves have no pride. And your pride comes from your identity, knowing who you are. That is where your pride comes from. Once you stop knowing who you are, when a man wants to make you loyal to him and make you his slave, he destroys your identity and gives you his own identity. He destroys your identity, what you knew, and he gives you his own accepted slavery. If you do not understand that, go and watch the documentaries of Kunta Kunti. Then you will understand. Kunta Kunti was a black man stolen from Africa, sold by his brothers, bought by white men, Europeans, taken to the Americans, but refused to accept slavery. He was a free man. Even though he was bought a slave. He refused to bear the names of those that claim to be his masters. They called him a name. He said, "No, that is not my name. This is my name." They did everything they could. He kept on telling them what his name was. And because he didn't submit, today his descendants can easily trace their origin. But those that submitted, the rest of the millions of those that submitted, their descendants cannot trace their origin anymore. Except with today's technology of DNA tests. So today now they can be able to know, okay, we are from here through DNA tests. But without DNA tests, in a time in the world where there were no DNA tests, Kunta Kunte refused sleep. Why would Kunta Kunte not just accept a name that is given to him? Just because of a name. Many of our people have lost that virtue called pride. We are going to be back. Excuse me. We are going to be back very soon. Welcome back, great Biafrans. The United Nations sent an appeal to the Nigerian government and to the Kenyan government demanding to know why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kept in the dark for about 10 days without anybody being aware of where he was. And taken to Nigeria, and Nigeria chose to keep him hostage. The United Nations have demanded for explanation from the government of Nigeria and that of Kenya. Let me see if I can read a little out of what they wrote. Just a little. Definitely, I will not be able to read everything, but just some few specific things. I'll read the heading, then I'll say if I can read a little of the introduction and pick one or two things that might matter to us. Rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment upon a group on arbitrary detention, the working group on enforced or involuntary disappearance, the special rapporteur of the right of everyone to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, the special rapporteur on minority issues, and the special rapporteur on the promotion and protection of the human rights and fundamental freedom while countering terrorism. Written on the 26th of August, 2021. Excellency, We have the honor to address you in our capacity as special rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment to punishment, working group or arbitrary detention, working group on enforced or involuntary disappearance, special rapporteur on the right of everyone to the enjoyment of the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, special rapporteur on minority issues, and special rapporteur on the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms while countering terrorism, pursuant to Human Rights Council resolutions for resolutions 43 for the 320, 4222 for the 53 for the 216 for the 38 and 4016. In this know them particularly, but when Biafra comes, they are still going to enjoy Biafra. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. Your name and where you calling from?
Thank you very much, Imal. Terrain. Good morning from here.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you very much. I commend you for your duty, for your job. Try to educate our people because the most sophisticated weapon on this planet is ignorance. My name is Chukwemeka Nwabuzo, and I'm calling you from Italy here. My dear brother, what you are doing and the other comrades on the radio, it has been today confirmed that Radio Biafra is more sophisticated and potential. It has been confirmed to, and it has proven a lot of things that this platform has been a place where our people has been educated enough for those that have ear to listen and they meditate what they heard from Radio Biafra and look towards around them and see what is going on around them. That also will help them because in a life of humanity, there's something too essential. That is your eyes. If your eye sees something, it draws it to your brain, to your hand, to your nose, to wherever it will draw the attention. But first, to attracting thing is your eyes. Your eyes draw more attention than any other thing. And but it seems to me that people see things with their eye, but they fail to understand it. That is ignorant. Meanwhile, you have elaborated a lot of things concerning Europeans changing of 1884. In that year, they did a lot of things in Berlin. Even that year is where they went to USA, Los Angeles, and this the line of Equator should be zero latitude and the zero longitude should be in London, Greenwich, instead of where it's supposed to be in Biafra land. That is what I've been doing. And Biafrans all over the world, Igbos, Biafrans, black people, they have paid a lot of price on this planet. They have paid a lot of price. It's time. I'm just angry with the conditions, not only Britain, the Europeans. They want more than what they suppose. They want a lot in Africa. And I think the time has come where they will redeem themselves from all this rubbish that they are doing in Africa. You take everything that people has and subjugate them. Make sure that you impose leadership that it doesn't function. The monetary system today they introduce in the world today is against Africa. Even the monetary system alone, no currency in Africa that can do international transaction. If you take Naira to Europe, nobody recognize it. If you take uh, even South African money to Europe, nobody recognize it. If you take even their safer that France even give them, nobody recognize it. So this is economic strangulation that do to Africa. And this is led to me to understand that the monetary system that was introduced is also to hold Africa down because when these people came during the trade by barter, what do they bring in exchange to take what we have? They take gold and give our our people can drink hot drink. They took give you hot drink. They took resources you have and give you gun. And once they see that people are opening their eye and understand that what they're giving them is meaningless to them, they now introduce money. And that's where we are to today. They introduce World Bank in order to subjugate Africa. All these things is to subjugate Africa. Black people mainly. They introduce a traveling system, document traveling system, but when they came to Africa, they have no documents. They have no document. They came to Africa as they wish. Today they introduce, if I'm to go to South Africa now, I have to obtain visa. Africa of my own. But I'm in Europe here. When I want to go to from here, which is Southern Europe, I don't need any visa. All I need to buy my ticket and travel. If I want to go to Northern Europe, that is Denmark or Central Europe, I don't need to buy visa. I don't need to obtain visa. All I need is to buy my ticket. But if I want to go to Morocco, which is Northern Europe, I need to obtain visa. All these things they are doing or they did in order to hold us down. And we have come to realize all these things that is not for our own good. But the only way to redeem ourselves, because there is millions of people living on this planet, concerns me, let me eat and die after all. But what we do is to restore Biafra, and from Biafra we emerge. Because we cannot redeem the whole of Africa at the same time. It is practically impossible because a lot of ignorance are wallowing up. What IPOB has done, wake up in the morning, any day I wish to pray Chukwokika. If I greet Chukwokika, the next person I will pray for is our leader, Mazin Nandikal. After that, I pray for IPOB, the genuine ones, not general, even the ones that are not genuine, they should change. Because what our people have been doing before, looking to the leaders, looking them eye to eye, thinking that they will change morally, that they will change by themselves, is of looking and they continue to impose over 30 years. No reasonable people has lived Biafra lands. No, since 30 years, no reasonable either social political organization or cultural one or Hanes and Igbo, Hanes or whatever.
50 years plus.
Genuine person,
50
all of
years
that.
plus. More than 30 years.
Yes,
Since
plus.
after the war.
Just recently, so people absorb it just recently. Now,
Hello, are you there? Oh, we seem to be battling with network. I hope. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, maybe he's going to call back because the network seems to be a little bit of a challenge. Network seems to be challenging. So maybe he's going to call back and complete what he was saying. He was saying some things that are nice and reasonable. Okay, but we must proceed. We must make progress, and it it's very, very important that our people get to understand that this struggle has gotten almost the end of it. Hello.
No, that's it. Okay, my brother Terry. Good morning. Excuse me,
Yeah,
I
good.
called back.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Continue. Yeah.
So I said you said 50 years. I know, but I just cut it short so that you people will be able to absorb what I'm saying.
Yes.
If I say 50 years now, maybe some people will think it's olden days that change. But let me just put it in this 30 years now. Even during this period, they have their useless democracy, which it doesn't exist. Now, these people that ruling us are the criminals, especially in the Igbo land now. They put all 419ers, all of them 419ers. So now, these people, the men that think that we will be able to help, to give at least make a change, contribute for the change, are looking at all these men like the senators in the east and whatever House of Assembly, are looking at them thinking that they will change by themselves to do a better thing for their people. And the criminal is always a big distance between the honest man and criminal. So they can never readjust themselves as long as what they want, their greediness is floating inside them, and they will continue doing what they're doing. And this is what IPOB, our leader, has laid down, that we have come to confront them and say no to that rubbish. Wherever you are, you're an IPOB member, wherever you are, continue doing what you are doing. That's my advice, that we confront these people to the end, and we will restore Biafra. And from Biafra, Africa will be restored. Will restore back to their senses and how they are. Because the Europeans has exported Africa more than more than 2,000 years. Taking every, we have suffered. Slave trade is way. And now, when you talk to some people, them or whatever, they think that all the system they introduce is for our own benefit. It's for them, not for we. If you look at the World Bank they introduce, if African country go there and borrow money, he pay more than others pay. And that money you lend down there, they use it for certain things. But money is paper. You borrow me money. When I want to pay back that money, you take resources. Why can't you take it and I give you your back your money, which you in the name of money and take our food. If you have 100,000 at your home, you don't have any single cooked food, even uncooked one, and you are hungry, you are not going to chop the money. So that is exactly what they're doing to Africa. And we have to rise up. And the only way out is to get Biafra. And I will be happy. Our brother from his own, from a good area, they will wake up that there's something why we are seeking for Biafra. And when we get Biafra, everybody will enjoy it. We have our nation. Thank you, Mazi Torin. And Machukwu Gama bless you. Continue to do your job, and God Elohim.
You say, more power. Thank you. That's nice. That's a very good contribution. Afroland first. The Europeans the Europeans woke up and decided to put everybody under their feet and control the whole systems. They they allow, or will I say allow, they encourage our politicians to steal our money and go and put it in their banks. Say, take this caller. Hello, good morning and welcome to Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. Your name and where you calling from? From where? Australia. Okay,
Some issue to complain about Biafra.
your network is not clear, and it seems like you are on the move because I can hear some. Oh, we lost him. Let us take this other caller. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. Your name and where you calling from?
Yes, yes. Mazi Tarinami, the African rep. I remain Pastor Chris Wise. The reason of my calling today is that I always expect your program on a daily basis, but I don't know your skills. Very juncture, this very time, we should up our games, most especially to your people, most especially to your people. The upper land has been sanitized. The upper land has been, whether we like it or not, the upper land has been sanitized, and your area need more hands, need radio stations, and need a lot of equipments and upgradements on this very struggle. We cannot only be saying things on the radio, like I said before. This time around, people are calling from upper land. That is good, and these are the people that used to call other radio stations. Use this your program to propagate these things. They said some people don't want to come. Some are complaining of network or phone or connections or what not or what that. There are things we should remove from meat before we cook them and eat it. So let's start practicing it right now. This radio is voice of the coast and not voice of the upper land. It is Radio Biafra actually, but the purpose of it right now, for my own understanding, is we want those of our brothers to start coming on there to talk to us, even in their language. Just what we don't hear, we want to hear them. We want to hear them. We have been hearing voices of people that are calling. This is a usual caller from like me, like different platforms. So you use your good office to kind of propagate those coordinators in that very place. I'm not giving order, but this needful. This is a totally needful. This time around, we need their voices. We need them to come on there and anchor programs. Many of them are channeling their programs on Facebook. We don't want that. We want it to be in one command and control. So this is my own take on what I want to say today. We want program when you open it, your people will come around. You like most of the times you anchor program with EKH. I like such a thing. People from that very area they anchor. You make it your programs. People from your jurisdiction will call and speak their languages. You build them up because when our people now are taking the positions of those of them right now, you may not even know the weight or the people that are listening to you, or if your what you are doing from the voice of the coast is yielding fruit. So give them that very space and give them that very time. Allow them to come on air. Allow them to do certain things we have that things we will see. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are already working on that and we're already doing that. Like I told you, tomorrow we are going to continue, and some other of our people are going to come up and talk to us. Okay, so we are We are very much aware and we are working seriously on that. So, like as I was saying, the Europeans, like what our previous caller said, the Europeans put up these structures for their benefits. Every development, everything that you see, they put it up for their benefit and they control it very, very well in such a way that even no matter how much they have exposed you to it, they don't expose you to the secrets. So at the end of the day, you are only a beggar nation. They encourage politicians, like as I was saying, to go and put money in their banks. They will steal money from here and send to their banks, to banks in Europe. That is where they bank and put their money so that they cannot be traced here, so that they cannot be monitored. When you need money, it is those same banks that are going to be borrowing you back the money that the politicians have put in the banks. So at the end of the day, it is just a cycle. The politicians steal money from the government, take it to bank A. The government money, they come back and tell you that there's no money they want to borrow. They go and borrow from their own money from the bank, the same bank that they have already put money, and they steal again and go and borrow, and their own money keeps increasing. And these people, the bank keep increasing in interest. Let us take this call. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Radio Biafra Voice of the Coast. Your name and where you calling from?
Am I coming out loud and clear?
You are coming out loud and clear, and the world is.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. This is Maazio Latamereze. I am calling from Abidjan, Ivory Coast. My purpose of calling this morning is just to put thank you so much for all that you have been doing, for your teachings, for the things that you have been bringing to our model which we never knew before, from the coastal region, from the voice of the coast, it's the riverland and the coastal and hinterland. Thank you so much for uniting us once together again. What I want to say this morning is about these viral videos that has been going on over our senator Abaribe that is doing for campaign. I don't know what he's trying to do, but anyway, I don't have to say things that are not under my word. But for me, Senator Abaribe doing for campaign, these people, despite that our leader Mazin Namdekano has given order saying that there shall be no election. I don't see the reason why our ever-loving brother Abaribe should be campaigning with this Nigerian politician. Shall be no election. What is he trying to do? I don't understand. But whatever he really wants to perform, all we know is that our leader Martin and the must be free and Biafra must come. Secondly, sir, there is this video that has been going viral and people have been complaining, some are condemning, some are destroying the video, some are can be guided and know the right ways to follow. Biafra National Guard. I don't know much about them, but the information has been causing shenanigans about them in much platforms. Our people are trying to be guided for them to know the kind of information they share. For them to know where to go and where not to go. So please, sir, we would like some kind of people that found over this people's activity so that we shall know measures to take.